So we've got our scratch track done to a click track, which is really our guide. Randy's just cut some drums for us. Now we're ready to go back, and I've actually already recut the guitar, so we've got a really good solid guitar track down. Actually, two of them. We've doubled them, which is basically I played the exact same part twice, so that when you're mixing, you can pan one slightly to the left and slightly to the right, because you're seeing it to the right and then the left. And, you know, usually about maybe a 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock position. Maybe if you go real wide, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but you can figure that out when you mix. And you'll notice in the mixing, that really gets things nice and wide. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and I'm going to play bass. And again, as you probably heard me talk about in previous episodes here at the Rock Shop, I think of the bass, especially in rock settings, as you record the drums and you record the guitars. Then you've kind of filled the bass in like the mortar between the bricks to kind of glue the thing together. Now, if depending on the scope of your recording project, lots of times you'll put a microphone on a cabinet, anything from an EV RE20. Audix makes a handful of really good mics for that, and then also you'll use a direct box, and I have an example of a what's called a DI, direct interface, where basically you plug the instrument into the box. There is then a pass-through that goes out into the input of your amplifier, and then on the back, or depending on your box, there's also a balance line out, which is basically a 3-pin XLR microphone cable that comes out and goes into the recording console. Today, I'm actually just running through a pod interface to go right straight into the computer. It has a great tone and it works well. I've done a lot of records where I actually just record straight into a pod. So there's a lot of different interfaces, but again, depending on the scope, if you want to use a combination of a microphone, combination of a DI, and things like that, you can get a nice blend. So sometimes it's nice to have a few different things so that in the mix down you've got some options and some choices. And same with guitars. Sometimes you can record guitars through a direct box so that you can do what's called reamping, where you may be recording your signal as you have it with a microphone on a guitar cabinet, or you might be using a pod, or the PD Revolver Mark III is an awesome new software program that's got an amazing, just a plethora of different amp tones in it. So those type of things work well. But if you also then do a straight direct tone, which sounds god-awful because it's just the guitar going plink, plink, plink. But the thing about it is you can later in the mix-down process decide to run that back through other amplifiers, or at least you have a clean signal that you can then manipulate through different type of software and other reamping at a later date for your mix. So anyway, I'm going to play bass here to this, and now we'll have a nice, solid, basically what they call the basic track of the song done. You've got a bass track done. Now we're ready to start putting vocals down, and eventually if we have solos or other lead melodies and things like that, we begin to then continue to build upon our basic track.